We're back, folks, to the IndyCar1909.com 156 here at Phoenix Raceway. We're back circle track driving after going to the road courses at COTA for race number 4 here in the Belly Up Cup Series. And folks, we are super excited. Qualifying is underway. Joining me tonight in the booth, wrong people on there, Dave. I'm the announcer, Gerald Campbell. We got co-announcer here, David Westergreen. I know. David Huckleberry, the producer, up in the booth here and showing us these wonderful scenes from the desert here. Sun setting, starting to become night, and that's when all the beautiful sounds and the beautiful sights are here to showcase. We're ready for 156 laps. David, I'm excited. How about you? These drivers are looking pretty quick so far out here.
Yeah, I've heard the setup tonight is awful tight. As we get our first look at the point standings, obviously Matthew Weeks is the points leader, and he might even have been the points leader by a larger margin. Thinking back to Homestead a couple of weeks ago, he's kind of kicking himself for pitting a little bit too late in that race, but a lot of these guys behind Weeks do not have a race win. Garrison Hogan taking that win at Homestead last week. Ryan Gable stealing one away from Ethan Stanley, and then obviously Daytona 500 winner Matthew Weeks is that points leader. So a lot of guys with a lot of chase eligible spots. They'll be looking to capture one at Phoenix tonight. I'm excited. This flat track driving pretty tight, though. I think these guys not real happy with how it's handling.
After the road course, you have to believe a lot of those drivers that maybe don't feel like they are the best road course drivers, feeling like the race for the chase starts tonight. This is another thing that we're going to have to keep an eye on, not just the points and all the action from the track. It's the Belly Up Sports Bracket Challenge. These drivers are in a versus challenge between you see right there, between another driver on track, the highest finisher from these move on and on down to the next race where it continues to get condensed till we have a final winner of the bracket challenge here. So we'll showcase this a few times tonight. Qualifying has just wrapped up on this D-shaped tri-oval racetrack, 1 mile in the Phoenix here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the qualifying results here.
I believe based on what I'm seeing, guys who are out will be Colin Kolpa, Kyle Hanshaw, Corey Abbott. We might have lost one more guy, not sure. We'll have to check and see if anybody else leaves. Pole winner was Scott Crump in that 90 car. Trey Holmes will start outside of the first row there in the 88. Tate Lytle starts third, and Matthew Weeks starts fourth. A couple of Pro Edge cars there. Gavin Hibbs and William White will start in row 3. Row 4, it'll be Ty McIntosh and Jonathan Cutlip. Row 5, R.C. Anderson and Homestead winner Garrison Hogan. Row 6, Ethan Stanley kicking himself for that runner-up finish last week, and Justin Vandermarl.
Starting in the 13th position, Justin Wadsworth. 14th, Wyatt Canadal. Jordan Owens, 15th. David Tooker will be starting in the 16th position. Justin Fortner will be starting 17th. Leighton Norgard, Jesse Racimas, and Nick Massey round out the top 20. In 21st, Vincent Isabella, with Hunter Smith starting in the 22nd position. 23rd will be Joshua Adams for 21 Savage. And our winner from last week at COTA, Ryan Gable.
And 25th is 2000 Busch Series champion Jeff Green. 26th will be Brent Jones. 27th, Dusty Dewar. And 28th, Johnny Thomas. Rounding out row 15 in the top 30, Josh Clark and Seth Rawls. I believe Hardcastle's going to miss the race based on the qualifying times and them, the 22 team, not having a charter. So knock Joshua Personette up to 31st. Harrison Town will be 32nd. Ryan Schul will start 33rd. Rucker will start 34th. Then I believe also Carlos Acosta misses the race based on no charter, as does Kolpa, as does Corey Abbott, based on all the rest of these guys. So skipping down, it's Michael Whitman. That'll be starting next, then Casey Hatch, Chris Wright, Michael Hosack, Robert Hill, Tyler Foden, Nick Delicato, and Chad Frankenfield, and then Kyle Hanshaw rounding up the team. I think 24.
Well, back up to the front here. It looks like we are ready to get going green. The racing gets good and the good get racing. We're going to be racing here at Phoenix. Who's going to come out on top? Already going into turn 1. Scott Crump able to go side by side. Caution already out. Caution already out on track very early on here. I'm not seeing exactly where.
The start of Phoenix is obviously a very chaotic start. It's something NASCAR really loves. They love having the guys be able to fan out forward 5 wide on the apron, but what that does cause is potential for those restart crashes, and I'm guessing somebody got into somebody.
I'm not sure where though.
See any damage to any of these cars in the field?
No, I do not either.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anybody calling out where this started from.
Interesting. Maybe somebody must have gotten sideways mid-pack. That's kind of what I was thinking would happen, but I don't know.
There's Fody off down low.
Yeah, Tyler Fody started 40th in this race, or 41st rather. And Nick Delicato is going to start 41st. Chad Frankenfield's going to start 42nd. 3 guys you'd expect to be in contention for the race win tonight, all with very, very poor qualifying efforts. And yep, there's the wreck.
Yeah, right there at the back. 2 drivers into it, 1 into the wall. Michael Goodman there, and a silver car. I did not see
Andrew Rucker.
There. Those 2 have not had a good week together. They had prior incident in the Truck Series race, so maybe a continuation here. Rucker got loose.
Yep. Rucker with a big moment there going through the tri-oval on lap 1.
Poor Goody, because Goody's going to be joining me on Thursday night, Thursday night for the podcast that we do for the Belly Up Sports, and he's going to be my co-host there for the Simply Racing Show podcast. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, because that was a hard hit by both of those drivers.
Who are you guys putting through the ringer? Because maybe it'll be Rucker, and then Goody can grill him on what the heck's going on. A couple of races in a row with contact, huh?
We have to have someone relevant, and that's not Rucker. But we normally try to get somebody that maybe is shining in the spotlight for the time being, maybe a winner or 2. We're going to bring up the only 3-time champion here in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series, and that's going to be Tate Lytle, the angry man himself. Took on the gauntlet. You're not going to want to miss it, because he did not have a great time on the racetrack. He will admit there were some questions that probably rubbed him a little bit, and he rubbed the wall a little bit more. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that on the Belly Up Sports YouTube page. Tune into that at 8 o'clock live for us on the podcast there on YouTube. So looks like the pace car is going to be coming off. The cautions, luckily, here at this racetrack are pretty quick. So we're a little bit more prepared this time for the start of the race here, or start of the restart, as looks like Scott Crump once again is going to be able to start up at the front here with Trey Holmes starting to the outside.
Trey Holmes impressive speed there in qualifying, and here we go, going back green. Long stretch there to get to the restart zone, and Scott Crump fires off nicely, and everybody's going to fan out down to that apron, try to make that cut with the dog leg.
Scott Crump a lot smoother start here, able to get himself very much clear. Looks like Trey Holmes did not get the start he wanted. He's going to drop back about 2 or 3 positions. 3 wide coming out of turn number 2. Trey Holmes going to be able to clear himself now, be able to slot himself into that 3rd position.
Third different paint scheme there for Gavin Hibbs. Or I guess it's the 3rd race, but Hibbs still with 4 different paint schemes. He has been kind of all over the place this season, back and forth, wiggling in the tri-oval, losing a couple of spots there to Holmes and Matthew Weeks, the points leader. Gavin Hibbs has made a really remarkable comeback last week in Coda. Has run into some other issues the rest of the season, though. Now he's battling side by side with teammate Ty McIntosh there for Shifty Sports.
Such a flat racetrack here. There is multiple grooves. There are ways to be able to make the high side work or the low side work, depending on which one you focus on. We're seeing a good case here. As you see there, William White trying to get that high side going, able to get a little bit of power down, still side by side, I believe, with the 35. Oop, yellow flag back out.
Looks like it was Josh Clark.
And Dustin
Dewar
Dewar.
potentially as
No,
well.
another do-good car involved. And missing a front bumper on the 28.
This is right in front of. This is gonna be right in front of Tyler Fode.
Oh no, they're gonna try 4 wide here on the front stretch. They are, and then Clark just kind of came up out of nowhere.
Fode and Chad. Oh, they both got into it, and both of them are in the wall. Yep.
Oh,
that's two guys.
Really strong drivers there. Yeah. Oh, good. He barely missed another one.
That is two guys who definitely had aspirations to contend for the win in this race, and that is not going to help either of them. I think Chad's damage is going to be pretty significantly better than Fode's in terms of fixability, but yeah, if I had to wager what our race admin Mark Murphy's going to be calling on this one, I think it's going to be an EOL on the 28 car.
Yeah, I want to take a look at between the 40 and the 15, how that contact came out between those two. But yeah, absolutely, it looks like they are going to tally the 28 there. We kind of had a figuring of that just based off Clark. I don't. That's the issue of this track. That there's a lot of pros and cons with how the new track is. That's one of the cons, is it causes a little bit of issue. And Chad just kind of disregarded that wreck up there. Did not leave Fode any room to avoid it. Like, I don't know what Chad was doing. Like, go away. Get away from the wreck. Don't go up to it.
There's a whole apron there for Chad to run. He just kind of
stay down low.
Stay out there.
Yeah. My philosophy when it comes to wrecks tends to be get as far away from it as you can, slow down. There's no penalty to you to stop for the wreck, but Chad just came up on the track like he was going to enter turn 3 normally, and maybe you just didn't see it. Maybe we can go on board with the 15. Maybe from that cockpit it would have been hard to see the wreck happening directly to his right.
That would be his only hope if he didn't see it, because other than that, when there's a wreck going on, you try to stay away. Yeah.
Oh, he saw it.
He saw a little bit of it. Yeah.
That's tough to pin on Chad from the cockpit view there. I mean,
to be fair, if anybody Chad would not mind running into right now was Tyler Fode. He was not happy with him on the Monday night race there, with Fode in the late stages giving a outrageous shove to Chad Frankenfield for the lead, shoved him way out of the racetrack and put him in a bad spot. But I think out of anybody, those two probably knew that contact was going to come. I don't think they expected it this early, though.
Absolutely. And, I don't. No intention, I think, obviously, on Chad's end there. Just
not yet.
A product of but right, a product of the racetrack and where you have to enter, but just the timing of it, where he came up the track.
It's kind of like when Ross Chastain and Denny Hamlin get together, and it doesn't look like it's on purpose, but kind of really, it doesn't really change.
It wouldn't matter.
You still got into it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about the same with Tyler Fode and Chad Frankenfield here in the league.
To re-rack them here as we get ready with one to go to the restart. Scott Crump got a big jump on the inside last time, was able to keep the lead. Starting to his outside will be Tate Lytle, and you'll have both of the Pro Edge cars lined up there on the outside with Lytle and Weeks. Trey Holmes will be to the inside behind Scott Crump. Then it'll be the two Shift Esports forwards of Ty McIntosh and Gavin Hibbs. Then you got William White and Garrison Hogan in row 4. Ethan Stanley up inside the top 10 with Jonathan Cutlip there in row 5.
I think anybody in the field, these two drivers are probably the favorites right now. Both of them are at the top of their game. Scott Crump, Tate Lytle, both are masters at elite racing here as of late, and you'd have to feel for both of these guys that it's probably it's going to be difficult for anybody to beat these two if it goes green for a while. But then again, this track does cause some craziness as we get back to green flag racing. Scott Crump, once again, amazing restarts out of him here tonight.
Yeah, and those two Pro Edge cars not able to cut the dog leg as much as the others. So Trey Holmes takes second. Gavin Hibbs trying to jump into third around Tate Lytle, forcing that outside groove to be pretty much just a worse off option for everybody as they get up there. So when you're thinking about those restart lines, you don't want to be in that outside lane, presuming the leader takes the bottom and cuts the dog leg. Everyone will be able to follow him on the bottom as
goody down
around again. And that just creates a big stack up top, and then those guys are going to be fighting to get down as we get deeper into this race.
Oh, gets a little tank cappy there, gets slapped and comes around. Luckily, he wasn't the last guy. I'm really surprised that they didn't cause caution.
It almost did, but Goody's able to keep on going. Hopefully, the 44 car is able to have a bit better night if the attrition rate ramps up. William White going after Ty McIntosh. That's the first battle in the field. That's for 6th.
Yeah, good side-by-side battle there. You see multiple different lines here going down that front straightaway. They can really be able to cut that down there. There's no limit to how far down they can go down that front straightaway. And you see it gives William White a little bit of advantage here as he's trying desperately to go about clearing that outside lane driver there.
Absolutely. And one thing that I think we should mention is that these guys are not going to be shifting. NASCAR's adjusted the iRacing split of the gear ratios, so you can run 4th gear all the way around here.
Yeah, again, people love or hate the new Phoenix. I know a lot of people really like the old Phoenix with how the front straightaway had the grass and kind of forced you to run a singular groove there. And NASCAR, of course, loves the chaoticness of the new. Oh, it's contact. Ty McIntosh got very lucky he did not go around there. As I believe, what was that? Was that Ethan
Stanley? Yep. Yeah, Ty's lucky that Stanley did cut him a break there. Ty came across his nose. Might have. Oh, Stanley's loose coming off of 2 as well.
Yeah, that is so hard to do. These Cup cars, I know they've made them better and a little bit better at handling, but still, you get sideways, it is very easy to lose track of where the steering is at, and it's very easy to just
flips into the wall right in front of Stanley.
Oh, the 5 slams the wall going down the front straightaway.
That's going to be wheel damage from Jonathan Cutlip. He is going to have to pit that race car here at some point.
Oh, my goodness.
It's going to cost him a ton of track position. All the way back behind Wyatt Nadel. Next up will be Jesse Racines and Vincent Isabella to take advantage of the 5 car. He pounded the outside wall on the front straightaway.
Yeah, that almost looked like it gave him a concussion if it was real life. That was such a hard hit. Oh my goodness.
Cutlip's on the apron now. I think he might even have a meatball flag.
You would have to believe so. I know these Cup cars are strong, but they can only take so much of a hit, and that was about the extent of a hit you could take there. I think that might be night over for Jonathan Cutlip there.
That's P2 in points right there, number 5 Jonathan Cutlip. So not a good night for one of our big points getters, and that will put him behind the 8 balls. He's not won a race yet this season.
David, do you think that these drivers realize almost all of the contacts, all the issues has been down that front straightaway there? I mean, these guys I know they're having a hard time, and it gets the car upset. I mean, do these guys start trying to run higher up the racetrack? Maybe don't go down as far?
You would think so, but, these are racers, right? That's an advantage. And so it doesn't matter whether that's a risky advantage. These guys know it's an advantage. And so you're going to do your best to take advantage of that being a bonus to your speed down the front straightaway. And, I think they're not concerned about it. If the car jumps loose on them and on the transitions, well, then that's that. But we're seeing Tate Lytle and Scott Crump keep it up on the racetrack. But if you're battling in the mid-pack trying to find a way around somebody, that's a way you're going to have to do it. And in Jonathan Cutlip's case, it gets him loose on the front straightaway and he slaps the wall.
Well, no surprise up here. Tate Lytle and Scott Crump have gotten themselves out to a decent-sized lead over the rest of the field here. Tate Lytle desperately trying to see if he can be able to get around Scott Crump. Scott Crump's one of those drivers, if you let him stay in front, he will dictate the race to his tire strategy. And I think Tate Lytle and the rest of Pro Wedge realize that. The only way to really stop Scott Crump from having his way with the field is to get in front and try to dictate the race rather than letting him be able to. But that still requires you to have to get around, and Scott Crump is not an easy guy to get past.
Up here, the battle for the lead. Tate's just kind of stalking Scott Crump. Back in the field, Justin Vandermeer side by side with Ty McIntosh for 9th. It's the first battle on track, but it's a good one. Those guys are side by side fighting hard. Ty is trying desperately to hold back the charging Vandermarl. David Tooker's right there as well, and that's a car. He did not show up to Coda last week. I think he had some real-life obligations to David Tooker, and with that, that's a road course, which is Tooker's kind of specialty. And it's good to see him fighting up here into the top 10. Started 16th, started up to P10.
Yeah, that's David Tooker. I watched him a few days ago win a Mazda race in real life. David Tooker did. So he wasn't here in the Elite Series, but he was still doing road course racing and won himself a race in his Mazda class that he was running in. I don't remember the track that he was necessarily at, but good job for Tooker for getting his first ever win with those Mazda series that he races in. So good to see some of the drivers here in the Elite be able to take their ability forward in the real life. But out of nowhere, Hibbs, he was like almost a second behind not too long ago, and he's quickly caught up to the two leaders here.
We're going to see some real comers and goers if you can get this car planted. If you're going to try to save the tires, the best general way to enter these corners in Phoenix is to let that car float in. But you can, with that brake pedal being so heavy in this Cup car, you can really dive it in there if you want. Maybe make up a little bit of ground, maybe at the cost of some long run speed. But for now, Gavin Hibbs, the car on the move, he's really been able to capitalize on Crump and Lytle, maybe saving a little bit of tire. And now they've got lap traffic to deal with. Josh Clark's going to go a lap down, and that's going to maybe open the door for the rest of these guys like Trey Holmes and Garrison Hogan to start catching up to those leaders.
Yeah, that was Clark's second lap going down there as full contact almost made. Right now, 38 cars on the lead lap, 2 drivers out of the race as of right now. Dustin Dewar, Jonathan Cutlip for prior incidents there. So early contact, getting a couple of guys out of shape here, but still very hard racing through the field here as once again Tate Lytle has a guy in front he's trying to pass and a guy he's trying to keep behind him. Gavin Hibbs, one of those drivers having a really good start of the season, trying to take his aggression here on the racetrack and make himself known here in the Elite Series, trying to run that very high lane. That's the first driver I've seen run without someone underneath him and pick the outside lane in turns 1 and 2 on a normal basis, and it's so far working for him.
Let's think back to that the oval refresh a few months back. We had seen that iRacing had kind of shifted the way the track reacts, and that's, I think, what's allowing Gavin Hibbs to run up a little bit higher on the racetrack and choose that outside lane to make up some ground. And you can see Crump and Lytle have seen that he's making up a little ground out there and are now running a lane up off the bottom. But that's the track makes some changes as you go nowadays, and these guys are able to adapt to it a little bit better. It makes it a little more realistic, I think, that's kind of how the real life tracks work as well.
Absolutely. Good racing here still going on. David Tooker still battling it out with McIntosh there. I am starting to notice the normal line now. People are not using the bottom nearly as much. It seems like maybe the drivers like a David Tooker that is well known for having that long run speed have been focusing on that high lane down the front straightaway and saving some tires. So maybe it is a little bit of a strategy to run higher for these well-known long-run types of strategy here at Phoenix.
Right, and it's obviously jumped into a bit of a long-run style race now. So these guys needing to save a little bit of tire, they're going. You're going to see who's done that the best over the course of the early part of this race. 30 laps in, this is when your right front tire starts to go bad if you've worn it. Your right rear tire starts to go bad if you've been wearing that one. So a guy like that we're following right here, Nick Indelicato, who's having to come from the very back of the field, one of the few who wasn't involved in one of those early wrecks. He's one of the better guys at saving tires. So if anybody's going to show you how it's done, it might be this guy.
Absolutely. Again, really good racing here early on to here. What lap do you think these drivers are going to be starting to look at maybe doing a pit stop? I know it's a mile racetrack. I think they can go somewhere between 80 laps on a set of tire or a set of fuel. Do they look at trying to make this a 1 pit stop or a 2 pit stop race?
I think you're going to try to make it a 1 stop race. I mean, we've already had the caution, which should get you to that point. My assumption is you want to only pit once, and especially if you can make it about 80 laps, you want to try to get to that halfway point. Make sure you can get to the end of this race, which it should be divided right about in half. My assumption is we'll run about the first half of this race fairly cleanly, as we're doing right now, and eventually we'll get to a point where we get a caution flag, and then we'll get a rash of those. So you plan on running just the 1 stop, but it's probably going to be more than that.
Yeah, always known at Phoenix, it's more of a how long can your tires last you, as the pace does start to slow down here after a while. Back out front, looks like Scott Crump is starting to put some distance now. As I stated, if you leave Scott Crump out front and he can dictate the times that he's able to set, he will slowly start to pull away, and that's what he's doing right now to Tate Lytle and Hibbs. I want to go and put a note on Hibbs. Not too many, there may be a lot of people viewing this that watch both the IndyCar Series and the Cup Series. Gavin Hibbs had an amazing race at New Hampshire in the IndyCar Series last Thursday, able to get his win there in the IndyCar Series, set his name there. I think it was one of the closest finish. I believe you were there or watching it, weren't you, Dave? Maybe?
I was, but I'm assuming you're talking to Huck.
Yeah, I was talking to Huck.
Hey, what are you trying to do? Surprise me over here? I was taking a nap.
Did you see the finish there? I don't know if you had.
Yeah, I saw the finish. They had a couple of contact in the last lap, and it came down to a really close finish.
One of the best finishes I've ever seen in the IndyCar Series. So do go back and take a look at some of the elite races there. A good shout out to Hibbs as he's trying to make himself known here and trying to maybe go back to back in the Elite Series for him. Back to back in the sense of racing in the Elite Series from IndyCar to here at Cup. Wouldn't that be a pretty good week for him?
You'll have the clip tomorrow on your podcast as well.
That is true. You can always watch it there if you want to be able to tune in and see how some of these races have played out. But good racing still up front here as another driver trying to work their way up there. I think that's the 26 of Fortner trying to work his way up as well.
Fortner has been battling with Ethan Stanley for the better part of 10 laps now. He has not been able to get by. Stanley's got a little bit of damage from that incident with Jonathan Cutlip. And yeah, Fortner is struggling to get by, but he does finally clear Ethan Stanley and move up to the 15th position now.
Another driver we're going to want to keep an eye on here tonight is our last week's winner, Ryan Gable there, able to get up into the, I believe, the 11th position from a 24th starting position. So one of our biggest movers of the night has been that 01 car there. So he's trying to see if he could be able to go back to back in the Cup Series here.
Wasn't really all that excited about his chances tonight was Ryan Gable, but for a guy racing from China, he's doing a great job.
Racing from where?
From China, you know.
I don't know, but I'm guessing that's an inside joke I have no idea about.
He's been suspended from a different league. He said now he's racing in China. So for a guy racing from China, he's doing a great job.
Yeah, I guess so. That's interesting. All right, well, good battling still here. David Tooker, I thought he would be making more of a move. He's been really focusing on that tire saving, but has not been able to get past a few of those drivers. As we do have a battle here for third place now shaping up.
Ray Holmes, last year's winner at Homestead, making a run at Gavin Hibbs. Looks like maybe the 56 and 95 have fallen back into the clutches of Trey Holmes and Garrison Hogan a little bit, and Holmes is going to take over third place. Here comes Hogan for fourth.
It's starting to pile up against Hibbs there. He might have hurt his tires a little bit pushing that hard, trying to get past Tate Lytle and get up there, and now it's starting to affect him. But here comes Trey Holmes starting to go around Tate Lytle. This is for second place here.
Yep, Trey Holmes with a really strong run, and you know, Trey's always one of those elite drivers that we assume is a guy who's going to contend for the championship or maybe even just win a couple of races, but it kind of just doesn't work out his way. You can see he's got the raw pace. Just drove up and passed three-time champ Tate Lytle all in one go. Scott Crump's actually pulled out to a really big 1 second lead, but let's see if this 88 car can maybe run down the 90.
Yeah, right now our top five is all underneath a blanket right now, all on top of each other. It looks like Holmes is starting to get, wow, 2/10, almost 3/10 of a second there. We'll have to see what it is this lap now. Maybe Scott Crump's he sees a new competitor behind him. Maybe he puts down the so-called gauntlet. Maybe he wants to put a little bit of a distance between them. This time around it is
Loss.
Oh, yeah. Scott Crump. Yeah, he probably noticed that Tate Lytle was not behind him
Caution
now.
out. Caution's out. Don't
On
know
Nick
who it was.
Indelicato. On Nick
Oh,
Indelicato.
no. Looks like Hunter Smith and Indelicato might have gotten together.
That's a shame.
They were
Nick
battling.
Indelicato. Yeah, Nick was actually the biggest gainer of the night so far. He had started from dead last.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, yeah, just kind of got in the throttle a little bit too soon.
And finished him off.
Yeah, unlucky for Hunter Smith there. Gets turned around. Luckily enough, is he going to stop it from getting into the wall? He does.
Wow. I think he's going to gas it up and spin it sideways again there a little bit, but no, he's all right. No harm, no foul, but definitely I think will be a tally on the rear car.
Well, everybody's coming down pit road as you would expect after having a 40 some odd lap green flag run there, as everyone's going to take on a new fresh set of tires here. We're going to give it over to David Huckleberry here, and he's going to do our sponsor readouts here tonight.
All right, our series sponsor is Belly Up Sports. Belly Up Sports is the internet sports bar commentary via podcast, forums, and articles on topics ranging to nearly every sport. Not your usual sports site. Check them out on X or at bellyupsports.com. Our race sponsor tonight is IndyCar1909.com. It is for past, present, and future IndyCar content. Premier sponsors, Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg is the marketing department for small businesses. Small business owners, Blue Egg is your biggest fan. Constraints catalyze creativity. We help businesses punch above their weight class. And finally, Worldwide Technology Raceway. Worldwide Technology Raceway, or Gateway as most of us know it, is a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri. It features a 1.25-mile track that hosts the NASCAR Cup Series, NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, and the NTT IndyCar Series. It has a 2-mile infield road course used by Trans Am, SCCA, and Porsche Club of America, a quarter-mile NHRA drag strip that hosts the Midwest Nationals event, and the Kartplex, a state-of-the-art karting facility. And those are our sponsors for tonight, gentlemen.
Thank you, Dave. What a wonderful time it is to be in the Belly Up Cup Series right now. We have so many amazing sponsors and so many amazing partners, as they should be called, with not just IndyCar 1909 joining us, but Belly Up Sports coming on board to take over the Cup Series as being the primary and the lead sponsor for this Cup Series here in the Elite Series. But amazing partners that we've had all year round and all season round, and really happy to be a part of this with you guys.
Absolutely, yeah. Happy that Bite Size Sports or Belly Up Sports is able to come up with us and follow us over with Johnny Thomas.
Were you trying to plug your own podcast into it? It
No,
sounded like it.
I misspoke.
Okay. Because I think you did a podcast not too long ago, didn't you?
Bite Size Sports is an entirely different entity that does not sponsor the Elite Racing League.
Yeah, that is true. Well, I didn't know if you were doing a plug for your own podcast.
Oh, not trying to.
Okay.
Belly Up does a great job, and
yes,
we're happy
they do.
that they're partners.
Yeah, really fun to be a part of such a sponsor that puts as much effort into representing our sport in our passion as all these drivers and announcers and everyone else here puts effort into these races, and we're happy that all our fans tuned in tonight for us to be able to showcase all the fun and the activities here. It's going to be an interesting season. You're going to want to tune in for all of it as we showcase these live to you on Wednesday nights, as it looks like these drivers are back ready to go green here. Scott Crump once again going to be leading it here with Trey Holmes to his outside. Are we going to have a restart like we did in the beginning of the race, or are we going to have a more calm and tame restart here? We're about to find out, folks, as they get to the Geico restart line. Green flag is out, and Scott Crump once again gets to a really good start as they are starting to fan out down the bottom going into turn one here.
There's contact between Trey and Gavin. Trey made it in.
Yeah, there was more contact further in the field there. People are all over the place. I know a lot of drivers were worried about the braking zones and how they were going to approach that, as so many different ideas. As, oh, wow, a couple drivers threw it in there into turn number 4. I think that was Gavin, or not Gavin, but Ryan Gable, yeah, diving it underneath took her there. As, wow, car sideways down the front straightaway. Caution out. Nick Indelicato once again.
This
I think he's done.
Yeah, this time he is not going to be continuing on, and I don't know where that contact would have come from, but it was once again on the front straightaway. Jesse Racimus is going to be involved.
I saw someone get absolutely sideways from the top side of the banking, come all the way down. I think
Josh Adams. That's Josh.
Oh, Adams and
he just clips
hits him
David
hard
Delicato
too. Yeah,
and Seth Rawls is going to hit his teammate.
Nowhere. Yeah.
And,
a couple
Stanley
other
got turned around.
Stanley.
All right, gotta go back here and take a look at this one. Couple
Adams
more
running
ways
the
to go.
Stay tuned Sports Cup Series. Yeah.
Kyle Hanshaw also got spun out in this.
Ooh.
Josh Clark had the fact that he was only involved as much as he is in this is rather remarkable. You'll see him fly by here up on the top side. Right there. He's going to run up right next to Indelicato and then hit Ethan Stanley.
Let's take a look at that here. Oh, the 46 ran too.
Yep. 46 blocked it up under braking. He got into Stanley, which got Stanley into Racimus, which spun all 3 of them out. Stanley's going to end up drifting up the track and get hit by the 28. There's the contact. Rawls has got nowhere to go. Innocent bystander completely. 46 car is going to go down in front of the 92. 92 goes down in front of the 70. 92 spins back up and collects the 70. And then the 28 is going to fly by on the outside and drive into the 92.
No, they're
not all that.
Cars. Yeah. You could have just said dominoes, and that's all you needed to do, because it was just a domino effect there, it looked like.
Yeah, a lot of, there's a lot of room, obviously, but Hanshaw checks and drops right into Stanley's wheel path here, and in so doing, gets 3 more cars caught up in this. Who is that drifting by the inside wall? We might need to get an in-car camera on them.
I think he made contact with Johnny Thomas and did an amazing job of saving it.
Yeah. What is that?
You know what's funny, David? You say so much room, and you look, and there's so much of the racetrack. I didn't see that part. Those two got hit pretty hard there. So much room and so much space on the racetrack, yet they always seem to come and find each other. And these cars are just making so much contact, even though it's probably the widest part of the racetrack of any NASCAR circuit, and they still somehow find each other to run into each other.
Rolled into person net. There's Racimus. Person net does dodge it. Oof. I want to go on board with Chris Wright through this one, Dave, if we can. You'll see a good view of the Johnny Thomas and Andrew Rucker incident, and then Chris gets a little bit of a close call there at the end.
Was it Andrew Rucker that was saving it down on the bottom of the racetrack? It
sure was. Yeah, Johnny is going to get extremely close to the 1 car. It knocks Rucker sideways, and Chris has to drive around the 1 as well. He's already out of control, and Rucker's about to slide up the track, stopping himself, and Chris is going to be very lucky that they don't pile 2 more up right here.
Just missed him.
At speed, it felt pretty close.
That would have knocked the front bumper off if they would have made that contact. Well, the pace car lights are off. They're about to get come back around here. I think they're still going down the back straightaway, but yeah, as we take our final look here. Oh boy.
2 different cars sliding right in front of Chris Wright. Makes it through. No, unscathed is the 9 car.
Yeah. Fun racetrack, but boy, it does get hairy there on the front straightaway. We're about to do it again. Let's see if these drivers can be able to make it past, see if they can play friendly with each other here as we're about to get back over to the restart line once again. Scott Crump still out front, but now a new driver to his outside, and that's Garrison Hogan. Let's see how they're able to get going as the green flag is back out. Scott Crump has a good start, but so does Hogan. See how this all works out going to turn 1.
That's the best. The outside has restarted. It hasn't immediately lost second place. Has Hogan. So Hibbs now to the inside of the 36. Tate Lytle, Trey Holmes side by side right behind him. Hibbs into the side of Hogan.
Oh boy, it is getting close out there. It is a flat racetrack, and it is so hard to be able to keep it underneath somebody as they get into turn number 4 here. The first 5 drivers able to get into a single file line here.
Anderson, the first time I've called his name today, for Pro Edge in the 50 car. He's going after Trey Holmes for that 5th position, and RC's usually pretty competitive in these things, especially on these types of tracks. A little bit surprised RC hasn't been able to make his way through the field necessarily so quickly, but he's methodically found his way there. Now, oh, Ty McIntosh sideways.
Oh, he's gonna get hit. He's still getting hit.
Big wreck. Yeah, they're around.
Caution
Oh,
is
Casey
out.
Hatch. Hatch just... Oh,
yeah,
man.
he got hit about 4 cars there. I think on every panel on that race car got hit by somebody.
I think there's contact with Justin Wadsworth entering the corner. And I don't know if it was incidental contact or not. We'll have to take a look, but Wadsworth got into Ty, and Ty ends up sideways in the middle of turn 1. So Hatch gets involved. Hunter Smith's going to get a big piece of this one. Actually, that might have been the last one that Hunter Smith got.
I mean, this took a while to form here because he got sideways, and the drivers are all trying to split him, trying to get around. Here comes Fortner, makes hard contact, and I think that's what finished off the 35. Sends him up the racetrack a little bit.
Oh, Vince, what a save! Yeah, it's going to get Hunter Smith there. And then when Ty comes back, Casey Hatch is going to try to shoot the top in the 14. He's going to door slam the rear of this car.
Oh, it was Netco that got him.
Yeah. All the damage is on the door of the 14 car, and then I think no more get in there, but I think you're going to have to. Seth Rawls just lost many millions of dollars over there. Lost all his cars except for Gavin Hibbs.
Don't jinx him because he's running really well tonight. I mean, if there are any bullet in the gun that's been running well for him, it's been Hibbs right now. But yeah, unfortunate for those drivers. This one, first time that's actually occurred, going into turn number 3 there. But that is another place where there is hard braking, and right there you see, I think McIntosh probably thought the 6 didn't have a run enough to be able to get alongside him. Came down and just contact made. It's going to be interesting to see how they ruled this one.
They ruled it a racing incident. I think that's fair.
Because I mean,
Wadsworth was there, but definitely didn't enter the corner as low as he could have. And ultimately, that contact wasn't the contact that spun Ty out. Ty just didn't really have room to gather it up.
I think it's aggression on both parties. I would put it more that it's not that nobody's at fault. It's just that both of them are at fault.
Right.
I think it's more of that kind of a situation. 6 definitely very aggressive, throwing it to the turn, and the 35 being aggressive by, just trying to take the spot in a very tight situation. This is something we haven't looked at too much tonight, but it is something that's very important. There's a lot on the line for these drivers as some good names is being taken out here, and that might make a big change in who moves on. Tyler Fody up there still running well. Robert Hill. Is Robert in the race here tonight?
Yes, he is. He's sitting P20. He's actually ahead of Fody right now.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so that is interesting. Fody had damage, so Fody may be looking at an elimination with Robert Hill. Clark is up there with Wadsworth, both of them with some damage, but Clark probably in the worst situation between those two.
Couple that you can pencil in 100%. Jeff Green does advance over Ethan Burrell. Ethan not here tonight. And then the other one being out. Dusty Dewar is definitely out against Ryan Gable. Dewar's already disconnected from the race. Also, if Jonathan Cutlip was on there, he's out.
Yeah. There's these are some big names that are going to be out. I mean, if Robert Hill does the unthinkable and comes out here and slays Goliath of the Cup Series champion, Because how it works is it's the last person in points versus the first person in points kind of a situation. So for Tyler Fode, who would be the top dog in points last season, going up against a Robert Hill, who I think was 44th, I think, in points. What
He was down there.
a story that would be right there. So that's going to be something we want to keep an eye on for sure. As Tyler Fode running in 36 and Robert Hill running in 20th. Very interesting thing that Belly Up has brought to us. It gets us an eye in some maybe people that we don't get to talk about a lot.
Yo, restart coming.
Yep, they're going to be coming to the restart line here. Green flag back out. Scott Crump able to get on the loud pedal. Great restart by Scott Crump all night long.
He has done a whale of a job leading this race. Led all 63 laps so far. And now, speaking of it, I'm going to jinx him, but a lot of these guys up front have stayed out. The halfway point being given to, I believe, just the leader at halfway. That'll be awarded at lap 78, so just 15 laps from now, as Gavin Hibbs did take second away from Garrison Hogan. And caution.
Back there. Oh, 4 and 5 cars around right now. I saw it happening.
William White. Chris Wright's not going to get away with this one.
Destroyed.
Brent Jones did a great job stopping that 89 car. He touched Chris Wright, but and they're going to get contact with Racimus driving away.
I saw that one from an upper view there. Definitely William White losing the front nose of his car, goes up the racetrack into Wadsworth, and around goes the 6 car.
Yeah. Side by side was Nick Massey and Wadsworth, and then White's just going to slide up the racetrack here and collect the 6. And I don't want to say I said something about it, but I definitely said this race was going to get a caution-y fest feel to it after a few laps. Isabella around the top. Vandermarl is going to be involved in this one, but White, and Wadsworth are the ones that got the most damage in this.
Oh, Brent Jones did an amazing job stopping there in time. That's an amazing time. Amazing.
Don't watch him pull away here. He ran into Jesse pulling away. I think it's incidental contact between the two of them. They were just trying to get going.
Yeah, this is a great point of view of just everything forming up right here. Wadsworth probably thought, man, I can't believe I survived that, and then the 43 came back and got him again.
Yep. Yeah, good job by Brent Jones, right? That's a really good work of checking up, make sure you're not part of the wreck. But yeah, I mean, a little bit of contact there with Carlo, Brent. It's okay.
Oh boy. That's a parking lot accident, actually. There, so
fender bender. It's all good. Yeah. They're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. I feel bad for Chris Wright.
Depending on your state, that would be a no fault. Oh no.
He pushed Vincent through the wreck and then got into it himself. Man, that is harsh luck there.
Unfortunate for Chris Wright. He's gonna have a ton of damage from that for sure.
Isn't Chris on the belly up bracket there? I'm sure he is. And that's going to hurt his capability of to move on. Ethan Stanley and Andrew Rucker did a pretty good job getting through this one on the bottom. Vincent got real lucky that this wreck didn't sweep up to the top before he got there, and only getting pushed by Chris Wright got him past it.
I think all parties other than Wadsworth are going to still be able to continue on. Chris Wright going to have a ton of damage, going to have a tough night for the rest of the night here, but I think Wadsworth probably is going to be done for the night, but it looks like all other parties are able to continue going here. What's going on here?
Zach Evans said in the chat, Josh Clark almost went to space, so we're looking for that. I don't know when this happened, but I assume Josh Clark's going to run into something here.
Maybe he's talking about in real life. Maybe Joshua Clark was a astronaut at one point and he just didn't make it.
But Zach announced with us last week in your absence, and we talked about the Zach Evans School of Space Travel, and here I think he almost ran into Chris right there because Chris started backing up. But Zach's very familiar with sending cars to space. He even did it on Monday. Tried to send Vincent to space.
I saw that wreck. That was one of the hardest wrecks I've ever seen on Zach Evans there. That was awful to see. I mean, he hit it so hard.
And we were talking about it today. 45 minutes of required damage. He said that's the most damage he's ever seen given out. in the sim, and I have to say I'm right there with him. I don't think I've ever seen that.
No, yeah, that's up there for sure. Well, it looks like they're racked up once again. This time, new driver to the outside there. Hibbs is going to start in the second spot. We have not seen anyone really be able to get the restart that they need to contend with Scott Crump, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen this time either, as they go down the front straightaway. Oh, you're going to have to keep an eye on the 36 there. There is a rule here in the Elite Series. You have to get past the start-finish line before you start going down onto that apron. That's going to be a close call there on the 36 to see if he didn't scrape the line there and go down too early.
He might have. Yeah, he was definitely below the yellow line before the start-finish line. So depends on how race control's feeling. They feeling Dale Jr. generous, or are they feeling strict? As here comes Tate Lytle underneath Garrison Hogan. Hogan's trying to pressure Scott Crump for the race lead. And the caution
is out. Oh, car Goody around backwards hard.
Not Goody again. No.
Hard.
Beauregard's got a bunch of damage.
I think Robert Hill's involved. Oh no.
You were talking about it, and I wanted to say,
put too much pressure on him.
There's too much time left. Tyler, have you ever watched Tyler Fode drive a race car? Like he'll get back up there. He'll just miss the wrecks. You'll note that old Tyler Fode misses these things every now and again.
I've seen him race a race car. I've won championships here with him racing a race car. So
Brent Jones got through this one expertly. That's 2 for Brent Jones. So that's Robert on board. Norgard got loose through the tri-oval, and yeah, man.
Robert's gonna probably be out from this one.
I feel horrible for Robert. Nowhere to go. Goody nowhere to go. Norgard's gonna get the tally there. We haven't heard from race control on Garrison Hogan.
I think they're probably still reviewing the Garrison Hogan incident. But oh man, he's gonna have to review a couple things. Yeah, Goody. I mean,
that car's already been wounded.
Oh no, I was about to say he was okay, but he took a lick there in the outside wall. Not the night for do good.
No, it is not. Especially because their main piece, Ethan Burrell, not running tonight. Brent Jones is going to have a front row seat for this one. Just a great job getting through here. On the brakes, off the brakes, on the brakes, off the brakes. Gas it up, get through.
The 24. Was that the 24? Who is that?
Hosak, yeah, Hosak got into it as well.
Front bumper. Yeah, he lost his front bumper on that one.
New damage model certainly gives a very explosive look to these tracks. Go. Hosak sees Adams dive low, sees Canadal dive low himself, and Roberts.
Not that hard of a hit. Was that his front bumper? Or maybe it was Robert Hill's front bumper he tore off. We do have race control handing out some penalties here that we do need to go over here, David. It looks like they are going to give the EOL to Garrison for going below the line there. He will be issued a tally. That is something these drivers know coming into this racetrack. They are not allowed to go down below the yellow line before the start-finish line. We saw it there, trying to do something to keep up with Scott Crump on these restarts, and unfortunately the advantage he gained there is going to be a disadvantage for Garrison Hogan, as he's going to end up going to the back of the pack here.
If I'm Garrison Hogan, I come down pit road, take my fresh tires now, and see if I can't make that track position back up. Potentially this thing, we might get some attrition here. These cars starting to get wounded in the back. We might see a few of them stay straight for a few laps, and we'll get going. But this was a pretty clear cut call.
Yeah, to be fair with race control, we're going to take a look here. This is the call you have to make, because if he does not get, you can't have anybody having the advantage here. I mean, it was blatantly obvious. Both tires below the yellow line there, coming to it. So I mean, there's really no defense on Garrison Hogan. It's a mistake. It's a mistake, and unfortunately, it's going to cost him here. But I mean, with something that plainly obvious, there's absolutely no way.
And that's an easy mistake to make, right? It's right at the line. It's a bang bang shot, but we have established you just can't drop down there before the start finish line. And what if Hogan had jumped the run on Crump a little bit, dropped down there, and prevented Crump from getting the lead, or caused wrecked the leader or something. So
No,
it's just an established rule. It's like the double yellow line at Talladega. You can't go below it unless you're Dale Jr.
it always seems to catch somebody here at some point in time. Hopefully, like I said, it's something that once they enforce it, I think more drivers are going to have in mind now what they have to end up doing. I think I even at one point in time had gotten an EOL for that same such infraction. So it's easy to do, trust me. But it has to be done, needless to say, as they are able to come back around. Green flag is out. Scott got a really early jump. He caught them all off guard as he is he's going to have a really good lead here going into turn 1.
The guy who got the biggest jump is Ryan Gable. He shot to the inside of Trey Holmes.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Oh, man. The 0-1
They're going to make
there.
contact. Oh, Gable kept it off of 3 wide. Inside lane 3 wide, not the way you want to be. That's where now Gable falling back into the clutches of Massey and Tucker.
He threw it in that turn. He is the most aggressive on braking right now. He still has his road course brakes on, I think, this car. So
Isabella got sideways.
Oh, yeah, they are getting loose down there.
Kept it straight, did the 3 car.
Man, this front straightaway is more difficult than the turns combined right now. It is causing these drivers to have all sorts of handling issues. And everyone's driving really, really hard right now. I think they smell blood in the water or something, as it is sharks out there right now.
Halfway point coming up here, 2 laps from that point at 78. Conclusion of 78 will be the halfway stage point. I believe it's just 1 point given out to Scott Crump. I don't believe we're getting out in the top 10. If we are, these guys are fighting hard for it, but my belief is that this is just a 1 point bonus to race leader, which would be Scott Crump. And I think that'd be his second one.
Absolutely, yeah. He's dominant tonight right now, as he normally is on these flat tracks. A well-known driver that loves his flat tracks, short tracks, and you would consider this more of a short track than any time you go with Tate Lytle. Almost got hooked into the wall. It looks like Hibbs was still had his nose there, and Tate Lytle decided to try to take that spot. Now Hibbs down to the inside. They are racing hard, even at the front of the field here.
Yeah, and Hibbs, Tate Lytle swapping second place back and forth. RC Anderson looking on in 4th. But as Scott Crump rockets around, he will pick up another playoff point. That's going to be huge for his championship hopes. And Crump was one of those guys who needed just a couple more points to have gotten into the Final Four last year. Wound up not part of that championship 4, even though he was maybe one of the more dominant drivers for last season. But Crump will pick up that halfway point. And now the second half of the race commences. Maybe we can go green for a little bit.
Absolutely.
We'll have to see where they give the halfway point for point 4, because Chad had said 73, which was not half of 156. So,
well, Chad's not the best at math, and that's pretty well known.
Luckily, he doesn't teach or anything.
I have end of 78 playoff percent right before the race, so that's what I had been rocking on. I'm pretty sure half of 156 is 78. Scott Crump's getting caught by Tate Lytle now, though.
Again, Tate Lytle knows he does not want Scott Crump to dictate this race. You see what happens when Scott Crump dictates a race. He is able to set his own pace, and he has the long run speed to dominate at that point. Tate Lytle needs to get this spot while he still has the tires. Did not have the long run speed earlier in the race, and it showed. He lost quite a few spots. Ooh, Scott Crump gets a little loose down that front straightaway. He realizes Tate Lytle is trying to press the issue here, and now we have a battle for the lead as we reach the over halfway mark here in the race. Right now, top 4 drivers have distanced themselves.
There's a wrecker on the front straightaway. It's Josh Adams who got loose and slapped the inside wall. There will be no caution. But the one car, definitely another incident with handling. Josh is struggling with this car getting loose.
I think when we gave him that sponsorship for the podcast, it gave him a bad luck spree here.
Harrison just got net coated into the fence. Oh, man, that was multiple feet. Holy. He just got bounced off. Hosag bounced off of him, but they were not
He doesn't have a nose on it. He slammed it.
Yeah, Harrison
incredibly hard.
Got sent in the fence by Hosag. They were 3 wide with Hogan there.
Now he may, there may be a tally on that too, because there is a There is a rule for that. Wow, the 36 throws it underneath Chad Frankenfield. We saw that he was not happy with that penalty that he got having to start in the back. And now here comes the 36 trying to make it back up through the field here, trying to see if he can pick him off as quickly as possible. He's already gained quite a few positions. I think he's already up to the 21st position of Garrison Hogan. So a good run so far, but boy, he is trying to make use of those fresh tires here.
Yeah, I had dropped back my own camera to go take a look and see how Hogan's progress was going. Now we got a battle for the lead.
Yeah, I'm wondering if another penalty is going to come down the road there for damage. But here comes Tate Lytle down to the bottom. He's running really low as he's trying to get any advantage. Tate Lytle is pushing hard right now to get around Scott Crump. He is done seeing these Lake Norman drivers out front, and he is wanting to put a pro edge on top here as we reach lap 86 here.
It's funny, I don't think Lake Norman's won one of our cup. I guess Ryan Gable last week. But, you know, the two Boval races
They
I have not been on.
last week.
Yeah. It was Homestead I was thinking of, and Crump was up front during the first half of the race, kind of dominating just like this last week or that race. And green flag pit stops hit, the long green flag run hit. And Tate loose.
No, he almost hit that wall. What an amazing save. I think those tires are angry right now for Tate Lytle.
Tate definitely driving harder than I've seen him driving.
He's angry.
He's
angry, Tate Lytle.
He likes saving the tires, being really patient, being good at the end of a long run. And there, he was very aggressive. It cost him. It's cost him 2 spots.
Tate Lytle, he did the gauntlet, and I think he still has the anger from doing the gauntlet as he's come to this track right now, trying to take the advantage, trying to get back up there. But it did not work out for him. But as we still have some battling back further in the field, we've seen this driver get in an incident earlier, now trying to take it over. That's Seth Rawls in the 25, trying to take it over the 91 there of Johnny Thomas. What position is that for? That's I think right outside top 10. Yeah, right outside. So good battling still happening.
Look who's right behind him there.
I know. It's Tyler Fody making it well known. Don't doubt him. Here he comes, trying to get into the top 10. In a few laps, we'll see if he's able to get there. Still, I mean, for that incident he had early on, I think he's got it all fixed. It looks like a new vehicle right now. Oh boy, there.
Marl tight. Vincent's going to get to the inside.
Rucker almost went around there. That Sunny D car was almost spilled all over the racetrack. As it looks like Vanderbilt almost got him there, but good racing still.
Yep, Vandermarl and Vincent are going to be side by side still, but that outside line seems to be strong enough that you can kind of hold your position up there. And I think it's even going to give Seth an opportunity to run after Vincent down this front straightaway. I guess it's the back straightaway now.
And these guys are vicious. It is so hard to pass, and they get the advantage. They are going to press it. It is, with it being a flat track, it's getting side by side is difficult, but when you're there, you've got to press for that advantage. As here's 2 drivers that are early on here been very aggressive. That's the 0-1 there, last week's winner, Gavel in the 5th position, trying to take it over Tate Lytle for that 4th position here. I'm hearing someone make contact with a wall hard somewhere.
I believe, but they just bounced off of it, no contact. Rawls did clear Vincent.
Boy, R.C. Anderson got sent up the racetrack there by the 26 of Fortner. That was very close. Maybe it wasn't the R.C. Who was that? Oh, Garrison Hogan. Garrison Hogan's not making a lot of friends right now.
He's driving angry.
Yeah, that's true. He's already up to the 17th position. Now passes the 4, trying to pass the 4 to get that 16th position. He's made some contact with a few drivers trying to work his way up.
He's worked his way really nicely up into that 17th spot, and Schuld would be for 16th. So Hogan's certainly putting himself in position if the caution comes back out to get up there and maybe fight for another top 10 finish.
Oh, he cuts off the 4. Oh, there was no room right there. The 36 did not have the room to make it, but he did. Gets in front of the 4. Now it's going to set his sights on that that Lake Norman driver right in front of Ethan Stanley, who's not had a great night tonight. A lot of damage for him. Here comes Tyler Fody now in the picture, trying to make the move on Seth Rawls. Might get a twofer here. He's going to try to go underneath the 80 there. See if he can go side by side. He is going to be side by side down the back straightaway.
Cody's car has a little bit of speed to it. I think he's all fixed up now. That thing looks pretty clean for how hard it hit the wall early on in this one.
Well, we saw there the 36 has worked his way pretty fast up to the 16th position, but he's got a lot of good drivers in front of him. I do think it's going to start slowing down on his progress here as he's getting into a battle. Boy, Fody clears himself. I think he just barely heard the spotter say clear before he took it.
Ortner smacked the wall behind him. A lot of action going on in this group. Up front, it's been pretty much just Scott Crump pulling away from Gavin Hibbs. There has not been much action up here, which is why we're showing you the pictures in the mid-pack, because that's where all the action is. Andrew Rucker's kind of holding up Fody, Rawls, everybody back there. That car's a little bit damaged. There's a big gap from Massey back to Rucker, and that's where I think the biggest action is, because Vincent Isabella just jumped underneath Vandermarl. He's going to try to drag Ethan Stanley through, and Fody's going to try to get Rucker.
Yeah, here comes Fody, already in the top 10.
Three wide.
Going for that 9th position. 3 wide down the front straightaway there. As, oh boy, they all come together there. I think Hill almost got pushed into the wall. They're racing so hard.
Hill was just trying to get out of the way. He's what made it 3 wide. Then Stanley gets around Vince, but Vince also got around Vandermarl, which means Stanley also got around Vandermarl. Now Stanley's going to go after Rawls. Rawls is going to try to pinch off the 92.
Yeah, they almost made contact. He threw it in there. These road course drivers are not blemishing at throwing it into these turns here. As it looks like Ethan Stanley's going to try to be able to make quick work of the 25, slide up in front of him. Looks like he will be able to do so, to be able to take over. I believe that is
11th.
For the 11th position. Yeah, just outside the top.
Look at Garrison Hogan right there. Up into P14, goes around Vandermarl. He'll have Vincent Isabella and Seth Rawls on the menu next. Battle for 4th.
Well, Tate Lytle is not the Tate Lytle that we know of here tonight. Tate Lytle, everyone would pin as being one of the best drivers on long run speed. Not having it here tonight. We saw him vulnerable earlier in the race, and now vulnerable once again here. Might find himself out of the top 4 here before we know it, as he's been loose since he tried to press the issue on Scott Crump earlier.
Yeah, it harmed the handling of that car, I think, and that's what's kind of costing Tate Lytle right now. Hibbs is also falling back. Crump's got over a second lead, and Stanley just cracked into the top 10. He did get around Andrew Rucker back there, so the Lake Norman damaged cars, they're moving forward. Hogan got around Vincent as well.
You saw some of these guys in the front here stay out. They were not worried. I question, are they good on fuel? Because it's looking like a really good long run race right now. And if they go all the way to the end, are they good on fuel? Because they were more concerned about the stage point there, but we're far and beyond that now, and they have not had a chance to come down pit road since then.
Oh, Tate just washed it up the racetrack. I think maybe Dave's got us a pit graphic, like a since last lap's pit graphic, but my expectation is not that this will continue to go green. Yeah, there it is. So top 8.
No faith, huh?
Yeah, I do not have faith, and they did run a lot of caution laps, so that 55 number on the current run, that is not going to be accurate for their fuel consumption. So I don't think they're gonna go all the way. But if you did pit on that last cycle through, which I think some of the guys back in the field, like William White maybe, have done. Trey Holmes almost definitely did. You know, those are the types that are going to work their way forward, you know, over the green flag pit stops if they do occur. I'm not convinced we're going to need them, though, because I think we're going to get some caution laps.
Well, I'm going to do some impromptu pit boarding, and I'm going to go down there. We've got all these drivers sitting in Discord for a reason. I'm going to go down there and try to check while you narrate what's going on, and I'm going to see how we're doing on fuel for some of these guys.
Hogan drops to the bottom on Seth Rawls. That's going after 12th. Hogan continuing to charge through the field after that lucky dog, or rather the EOL. Rucker sitting in 11th with what seems to be a pretty damaged number 64 car. And we know Rucker's not going to just roll over and give it to Garrison Hogan, but now Hogan up on the top side of Rucker. And just a little brush with the wall, but Garrison Hogan does clear by Rucker. And so Isabella got loose through the tri-oval that time through. Gerald, what you got?
We must be overeating donuts.
You got
what
me?
What you got, Gerald?
Sorry, I don't know what was going on there. So it's going to be an interesting story here if we get a green to the end. Some guys are very close and some guys are good. The drivers like Scott Crump and drivers like Gavel there in 5th are 2 laps short on fuel. You got drivers like Fody and Ethan Stanley and drivers like that are good on fuel. They're pressing the issue. Drivers like Scott Crump and Gavel and some of those other guys that stayed out are looking at trying to maybe slow down the pace to try to make it on fuel. It's going to be a battle between drivers trying to save and drivers trying to push. So this is going to be interesting, folks, if we go green to the rest of the way here.
Immediately makes me think Gavin Hibbs has dropped the pace off significantly to try to save fuel and get it to the end. He's dropped back behind R.C. Anderson and Tate Lytle right there. Scott Crump probably could stand to drop off his pace a little bit. I think he's running awfully quick right now for a guy who's probably short on fuel. He's going to be able to maybe clutch the corners and let that thing coast around and try to save in. I just know that we're going to get one of those race-changing cautions here down the stretch. It feels...
Don't jinx us here. I want to see a good fuel run here come out to the end and us not knowing anything about this, because if we get a caution, Scott Crump is just so dominant right now, and even on these restarts, he's got it down to a T. That would be such a game changer if we go green here, and how it all plays out, because it's gonna change how these drivers approach it. I think you're on the dot with Hibbs. I think he's trying to start clutching it now to be able to save, but there's a couple guys back there. We're gonna have to keep an eye on that graphic you have there, Dave, of when these guys come down pit road, because 2 laps means that just about anybody that pitted after Scott Crump last pit stop is probably good on fuel. That might be a Matthew Weeks right there in that scenario.
No, I believe
Ethan
Fody
Stanley is the first one.
car. Yeah.
Ethan
Stanley came in at lap 70.
What about Fody? Oh, no,
Caution!
I told you.
That changes it all.
Never mind on that. Trey Holmes, the one around.
Trey Holmes. It was Trey.
And Trey had pitted, I think, to try and go for this. You go for the fuel strategy, and my assumption is that the 24 is going to get a little bit loose.
Oh, he lost
entry.
it. Yeah.
And take the 88 car and spin it around. And, Jordan Owens nowhere to go.
Oh no, Jordan Owens. He was having such a strong and just very consistent run here tonight. That is awful for Jordan Owens. Not what he needed to have a good run.
I don't know that there's anything Jordan could have done here either. He sees it coming, and here comes the 88 right in front of him, right in the middle of the corner too.
He could have put a bigger bumper on. That's about the only thing he could have done.
You can slam on the brakes, you're sliding into that car.
Drivers are down pit road. Let's take a look at the end of pit road here. See if these guys, who's going to come out on top. I'd have to believe, unless Scott Crump has had a horrible pit stop, should be the one to lead us off of pit road here. Good shot there. Oh,
good
some
stop for
drivers.
Anderson.
Oh no, it looks like Scott Crump is going to be able to come out right in front of him.
I don't know.
What a stop!
Did Scott speed? Tate drove around Scott too. I think Scott's been on pit road.
Oh no!
Scott Crump speeds on pit road. He's going to the back. Oh no! He led every lap. He led 111 laps.
I'm bringing Scott Crump in here. We're allowed to be able to move these drivers. They have nothing to say here. Let's talk to Scott Crump here real quick. Scott Crump here. This is Gerald in the booth. What did you just do?
I don't know. Somehow it just gave me a speeding penalty. I don't know. I was doing 45. I barely hit 46, and it gave me a speeding penalty. So I don't get it.
Oh.
RC was going faster than I was in the pit, so I don't know.
You led almost every single lap here. do you have enough time to be able to get back up there? You
No,
definitely
there's no
are the
chance.
class of the
My race is
field.
done.
Oh no. Well, we're sorry to hear that, Scott. At least try to put on a show here. You got nothing else to lose, right? We saw we see the 56 back there. He's worked his way back up into the top 10, and he did that in fairly short motion there. There's only 33 drivers on the lead lap, and the majority of those are damaged. I don't think your race is over just yet, Scott.
Well, he had a little bit fresher tires, so he was able to come through the field a little bit. Now everybody's even tires, so.
Wow, that's difficult move there for you, Scott. I know it stinks. I know I picked you for the podcast here. Not what I want to see either. Definitely points that I'm losing out. I was rooting for you, Scott. Let's see how you are able to do, and the broadcast are going to keep an eye on you during the rest of this race. Alrighty.
Yep.
That was Scott Crump here. I'm trying to put him back into Lake Norman. There we go. That's unfortunate, David, wouldn't you say?
Very. I've certainly sped on pit road several times in my career, and it hurts just as much every single time. Whether you've led all the laps or if you're 10th, it doesn't matter.
Well, we do appreciate these drivers that when they get up in here, they say PG-13. We bring them right at the worst possible times, but that's my job, right? Is to bring them up when they don't want to. So, as this changes the look of how this race is going to work out here. It's going to be R.C. Anderson leading this race out of nowhere. He's been running well, but not leading well. But now he finds himself in the optimal spot here. And I said earlier that they smell blood in the water. Well, I don't know what this is. This is a dead body in the water because there is a lot of drivers now seeing Scott Crump not in the lead, and this is their time to shine in their minds. Green flag is back out. R.C. Anderson gets a really good start.
They're wrecking Rucker.
Oh, no. Rucker around. I don't think anybody hit him.
Nope, nobody did. He got it saved on the apron. We're still green.
Green flag still out. How in the world are we still green flag? That car was around in multiple areas.
Wide entering turn 1. That might get dangerous. Chad wide, actually.
Yeah, Chad on the bottom there. A couple cars slammed that wall. Oh boy, they're
Racimus
sideways.
Oh, there they go.
To the wall, 26 to 14 down the front straightaway. We saw the 70 there. Racimus get sideways. I think 25 of Seth Rawls is around as well. Oh boy, there was no way. There was no way they were going to continue racing this hard and not have something happen.
Jesse took the middle, which
He just got loose.
I think that's been the trouble spot is when you tell when here comes Casey off the bottom and Fortin are nowhere to go. I think the trouble spot has been running. The guys on the bottom have cut the dog leg. The guys up top have just kind of run through the straightaway as normal. If you run the bottom, I didn't see him. Let's see.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
You're good. No way for Hatch to know Racimus was running into issues down there.
Oh man, this has been a common occurrence here tonight, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think that's been the trouble spot, right? It's been guys shifting lanes, and I think Seth got sideways and spun it himself, entering turn 3, out of the top 10 too.
Well, drifted.
He drifted. I don't know if he lost it. Did he lose?
Yeah,
he loses it. Air tank slaps it.
It's worth noting that all happened right in front of Scott Crump, literally right in front of him. Scott had to dodge it, driving down to the apron to avoid.
Do you think he would have kept it PG-13 if he got involved and I brought him back up in here?
No, I do not.
No.
Should we also pay some bills here while we're under caution? I need to take care of that.
Yes, let's go ahead and get that for these folks, as I don't think we're done with the excitement here today.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Thank you again to all of our sponsors here as we're getting closer and closer to the end of this thing. Only 36 laps left in this field. Oh, thank you for making that there, Dave. This gives us a little idea of the bracket challenge that's going on right now. The lines are being scratched out quicker and quicker here as the race is going on and the wrecks are occurring. But pace car lights are on. I'm excited to see how this all turns out. Wouldn't you say, David?
Yep, we've got Pro Edge Toyotas 1, 2, 3, and 4 here, so that'll make it more difficult on the rest of the field, I think, to grab this one. But you know, Scott was kind of holding them back, I think, and now they're all in control of the race. We'll have to see whether the Lake Norman and Mountain Man Motorsports cars, Nick Massey and Ryan Gable, can get up there and get back by him.
Well, on 6th, 7th, and 8th is all Lake Norman drivers. So I think the battle is about to start between Lake Norman and Pro Edge here before it's all said and done. 36 laps down, or 36 laps left to be put down here. Green flag is back out. RC Anderson, once again, an amazing start here, able to get out in front side by side for second. And I think the racing is going to get intense here.
Tooker's the one now under fire by the non-Pro Edge cars, Massey and Gavel, but they're side by side. Vince trying to follow Cody by Hogan. Hogan's another one who, if he can get up into this top 5, I think Hogan will have something to say about it. Caution's out again.
Caution is out here. Andrew Rucker involved? And
Seth Rawls.
Rawls has been in his share of problems tonight.
A lot of these drivers could probably say the same here.
3 wide off of turn 2. I'm going to call it 4 forever. Oh, there it is. Rucker into the 54. And then Seth is going to
lose every part of that body on that race car. And Andrew Rucker.
Who was Seth against? Seth's against his teammate Nick and Delicato, right? And there's Nick in the blue and black car right up ahead. I think you can cross off the 25. Connor Smith, innocent bystander in that one. And hey, Jesse Racimus missed one.
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
It was a monster and Sunny D beside each other, and needless to say.
Tried that combined?
Ooh.
I
That might form plastic or something like that.
Yeah.
That's how they make styrofoam.
I think they use that in war. It's called napalm.
Oh my god.
It's not something I want to try. Let's just say that you may end up looking like Seth Rawls' race car at the end of it all. But it's going to get interesting up here. I saw Scott Crump throw it in 3 wide underneath Chad Frankenfield, already up to the 15th spot. You know, he was doom and gloom. These cautions, I don't know if they're helping him or hurting him, but he's been gaining pretty quickly here. He was already all the way back in like 32nd, has gained 15 spots in just the few cautions that we've had. So keep an eye on Scott Crump as he tries to work his way back up through the field. The question will be there be enough green flag laps to make a difference here with being able to catch up to RC Anderson? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, interestingly, you know, Gavin Hibbs, I think he had a bad pit stop. I want to say, I'm not sure why Hibbs is back there, but Crump's bypassed Hibbs already. And what's going to help Crump is starting on the bottom of the racetrack. If he can cut the dog leg and pick up 2 spots every first corner before the wreck, then he'll be gold. But you have to do 2 things there. 1, you have to avoid all the wrecks, and 2 is you have to, stay on the bottom. If you don't stay on the bottom, you're in trouble.
Oh, all you have to do is avoid the wrecks. I don't think anybody heard that tonight.
Yeah. Didn't notice. It's a key factor, I think, to winning this one. RC Anderson, he's got it down pat right now.
Yeah, I'd almost want to see a list of drivers that have not been involved in a wreck. I think it would just fit in the palm of your hand. There, not very many people have not been involved in something or another at this point. Just kind of everyone just comes together. It looks like here, and not in the nice way, not in the singing in peace and harmony song. It's more like Metallica and they're body slamming each other right now.
At the risk of jinxing the ever-living crap out of them, I do want to mention a couple of guys that have not been involved in any of our incidents tonight and have done a good job of dodging. Vincent Isabella is on our graphic there in 10th spot, sitting in the 3 car. He's been one of the types of guys who's been involved in some of our incidents this season, but not here. Johnny Thomas right there behind him in the 91. He's done a fantastic job avoiding incidents, not being involved in anything. And then Justin Vandermarl in the 80 car. He's been hovering right around the top 10 all night in that 80. Another guy who has not been involved in anything tonight. Right behind him is Wyatt Knadel. Another guy not been involved in anything tonight. Let's see if those guys can keep it going. They've had a good streak so far. 125 clean laps. But when's he going to get that fixed?
You said let's not jinx them.
And then Chad's right there.
Go blinking right behind him.
I
You
know.
can just play the Jaws music at that point as the green flag is out here.
Tate got a huge jump on Weeks and Tooker there. Hooker's going to be under fire from Gable. Gable might actually be able to crack into the top 5.
Oh boy, it is.
Oh, he got into Cooker
back there. Oh boy.
Oh, into the wall goes
hard
Vandermarl.
Contact, Vandermarl. Yeah,
course.
hard.
Said
Hit
something
it.
about him, and there he goes. It wasn't too bad. He's still going straight. Tooker clears Gable, so Pro Edge still 1 through 4.
Oh boy, I'm not. Whoa, Tyler.
Fode's
Fode's
wiggly.
sideways. Oh man, Tyler Fode. I don't know how he saved that there, as that almost ended up being pretty bad. As he's able to keep it going, but here comes the 36. I think he's wanting to be known here before it's all too long. He is trying to make up these final bit of spots, and I told you these last few spots that he has to try to pass are going to be the hardest ones of the night, as all these drivers up here have been extremely fast.
Hogan's been shown that he's got the speed to pass him. He's been really, really quick. Crump's to the inside of Vandermarl back there. Crump's not making up time as quickly as you'd want for him to be able to make it up. Somebody just tank slapped the wall.
That
One
was
of the
Michael
white
Hossack.
Fords.
Yeah,
Yep.
24, Michael Hossack hit the wall hard.
He's Toyota, but still. Hogan
God,
underneath Stanley for 6th. The comeback continues for Garrison Hogan.
Yeah, he's trying to make it an all Toyota top 5 here if he can help it. But right now he's only got two more Chevys in front of him to be able to accomplish that. Wouldn't that be something to have all Toyotas in the top 5? Well, we're about to see if that can be accomplished right now. Pro Edge, they weren't the fastest. I don't think they were the fastest. They just all have been able to survive these things. And now Pro Edge is all up there right now and in perfect position as we're coming closer and closer to 25 laps to go to this race.
If these guys get more laps turned, it is just so difficult to make a pass, is what we're seeing. You can make that outside line work, you can pin a guy down, and if you can get it in front of him, you just drive away. It's Tate loose there, I couldn't tell, but I mean, it's just been this way the whole night. Everybody's just kind of wadded up in traffic. The only guy I've seen that's been able to make consistent passes has been Hogan. And like Scott Crump said, now that Hogan's on the same tire strategy as everybody else, he's kind of stuck in 7th place.
I feel bad for Tate Lytle. He's been struggling behind Scott Crump the entire race. Oh, we got a driver shoving someone up the racetrack. I don't know if that was on purpose. I think it was the 89 there.
Yeah,
getting
Brent
shoved.
got shoved up the racetrack. Got to check who that was, what that was all about.
Yeah, that was aggressive there. But yeah, I feel bad.
Oh, they were
White.
3 wide. William White got into Fortner, and Fortner shot Brent up the track. Brent was an innocent bystander in that one.
Oh man, they're slamming the wall coming out of turn number 2 there. Yeah, it's been crazy back there. Like I was saying about Tate Lytle, I feel really bad for him. He's been stuck behind Scott Crump earlier on in the race, running second fiddle to him, couldn't get around him. Right when Scott Crump has issues, he drops back, lets R.C. Anderson take over. And once again, Tate Lytle cannot figure out how to get around the leader as he's been running right behind him. It's just a different driver now, but Tate Lytle has yet to lead a lap, but has been running in second for, I would say, over 100 laps here tonight. And you can see how hard he's pushing it. He almost made contact coming out of turn 4 on that wall.
Yeah, and look at who's in third, right? That's our points leader, Matthew Weeks, and the 2 closest contenders to him in the point standings are 43rd and not racing tonight. So Matthew Weeks is going to extend that points lead, barring something crazy here down the stretch. That 11 car has been so consistent and so capable to continually miss accidents that he's really put himself in a good spot.
Yeah, all these pro edge drivers really have been able to just be consistent here tonight, and that's been just kind of the key, just surviving it and just not making mistakes. I think the key tonight is just don't put yourself in a bad position. Scott Crump unfortunately put himself in a bad position by speeding on pit road, and as you said, he is not making up the spots. He was leading and dominant early on, able to make so many passes, and then he's just come to a wall. He cannot get past 13th position. He's behind the 91 there, Johnny Thomas, and has gone no further.
Yeah, Gavin Hibbs also trying to recover back to 14th. But it's clear those guys have hit the wall. They can't move forward. And right in front of them, Vincent Isabella and Tyler Bodie are battling. They've been side by side for multiple laps in a row. They've swapped the lead, swapped back and forth. They can't decide who wants that spot. They can't make a pass either, though, is the problem.
Yeah, they're getting to 20 laps to go in this event, and I mean, the question on everybody's mind, are we done with the cautions? Because if we get another caution at this point, there's going to be some hurt feelings by the end of it, because there's going to be a lot of drivers pushing really hard. Here comes Chad.
There it is.
Oh, no.
Gerald.
Massive wreck. It looks like Sunny D is, I don't know how there's any Sunny D left, because
Brent got hit after the wreck again. I don't think he missed this one, though.
Mellow Yellow and Sunny D. What does that combination make? Oh my gosh.
That's just normal gasoline.
Oh.
Casey bops into Rucker this time, and Hosack into Casey, Brent into Hosack, and then 35 into Brent, 33 into
massive...
35.
Oh, Brent's got quite a bit of front end damage from that too.
That car, he had kept clean all night. He had made it through a bunch of different wrecks, but now she's crab walking on him. Right front tires all bowed out. Yep, 14 gets the tally, and I would agree with that one.
See, you gotta make your sponsor something that nobody really wants to touch. I think that's the key here tonight.
I guess Tate Lytle's not mellow yellow technically. It's the same color, but he's got the Days Gone By. So what? Did nobody want Days Gone By? Gable and Stanley have come down pit road. They are trying something. The Lake Norman group, whole Lake Norman group, Chad Frankenfield, all coming down pit road, just trying to grab some tires, see what happens.
Well, they weren't gonna win with the positions they were in. It was pretty well and obvious. But the question is, they may have a shot if we go green, but I don't think we're done. I think we're about to add up the tally marks here tonight. I think it's about to get very ugly for the rest of the field.
We've seen it get ugly at Phoenix a number of times before, but with the dog leg down there, those Lake Norman guys are going to cut down to the bottom. They're going to get all the way down, fire it into turn 3, probably just ride on the apron until you exit turn 2. And when they exit turn 2 right past that pit road entrance, they're going to have to get back up on the track. And I I imagine that might be the location of the first wreck here, coming off of this caution, or 11th tonight.
Well, let's see where some of these drivers end up at. I think Tyler Fody was the first one on pit road. Maybe no, it was.
It
Ethan
would have
Stanley.
been. It would have been Gable and Stanley.
Oh, Gable,
It's looking like they're going to be around 15th to
That's
20th.
not good. Yeah, that's not good. that's pretty far back.
16
And they got a lot of damaged cars that
have stayed out. Yeah.
needless to say, Thursday night's going to have a pretty long highlight reel of all the wrecks, and a lot of these drivers have been the star of the show. That's in front of some of these guys that just pitted, and that's not going to fill you up with confidence. You've got a driver like Nick Indelicato that's been involved with it quite a bit. Jesse Racimus has been involved with kind of a lot. So it's gonna be questionable with how things work out. Let's take a look one final time here at the bracket that we have, as Tyler Fody right now looks like he should be able to beat Robert Hill. Robert Hill's 4 laps down. Joshua Clark.
You're crossing a few of these off before those guys are definitely out of the session. I am a little nervous about that.
I was a little, made some assumptions.
I would agree, but like I don't know if Trey's 2 laps down, but if Wyatt wrecks and gets totaled here, you never know.
Yeah, another one to keep an eye on, Johnny Thomas versus Tate Lytle. Johnny Thomas 7th, Tate Lytle 2nd. Matthew Weeks versus R.C. Anderson.
Wow.
First and
3rd. Yeah, oh boy. Between teammates there, so that's going to be an interesting one. Well, the caution lights are out. We're about to go green flag. 15 laps coming down to 14 laps. Folks, say your prayers.
Strap them in.
Take a look at your favorite driver. We'll see if they make it out on the other end. It's kind of like the hurricane zone. We're about to see where the red is going to showcase. Green flag is out right now. R.C. Anderson able to get out to a good start. Here comes Matthew Weeks. He had a great start there. He's going to try to see if maybe he can throw it in there.
Teammate. He's got him, and the caution is out.
Caution is out. A few cars around.
Ethan's around.
Ethan, no, he saved it.
He saved it.
Oh,
Wow, what a save.
Boy. Oh, we knew it was going to happen.
Oh,
Ooh, Clark just door slammed Goody after the caution. My cat came to watch that one. She's a black cat, so she's creating all this chaos.
We have the video feed showing the from upper view going down. We
Robert.
need to see the,
Robert kind of
Hill
came down on him.
Down, and Goody didn't go all the way to the apron. Robert expected him to, and there it is. And then Clark's gonna go up and clobber Wadsworth. Oh no!
Yeah. Oh boy.
When you've been involved in a couple of crashes like Clark or Goody or one of those guys, each one you're just kind of like, yeah, that's about right. you don't have any more patience to give. You're kind of all out.
When some of these teams run out of front bumpers, because some of them have gone through a few of them here tonight. They've the pit crews have put them back on. Clark just loses it there trying to avoid, and right into Wadsworth. Oh boy.
Let's check out that save Ethan Stanley made real quick there, if we can, Dave. The save for Stanley in the middle of turn 1 here. He got on the binders, and that car jumped sideways. Had to wait till after the start line, and then he jumps to the outside of Jordan Owens, who's been damaged. They are 4 wide entering turn 3. I think Owens does back out of it.
Norman. Yeah, 3 Lake Norman cars there. Oh, Gavel right in front. Oh boy.
Here it is. See, Stanley, this could have been a big wreck if Stanley doesn't hold on to this thing, because he would have hooked right and taken Fody right out, and he could have hooked left and taken Scott out.
Yeah, that could have been bloody Lake Norman. Yeah.
Massey would have been clobbered out of that one too, but Stanley keeps it straight. Good car control from the 92 car.
Well, we knew it wasn't going to be over, and I still don't think it's going to be over. I'll be quite honest with you. It's oh boy.
No, I doubt it. I doubt it will be.
The question is anybody going to be able to have the restart to keep up with the leader on these starts, to be able to have a battle? We really have not seen a battle for the lead on track. The leader has such an advantage. I mean, Matthew Weeks, the question comes down for him: does he play the team game and play the point strategy, having a really good points night, or does he press the issue and try to get the win over RC Anderson? I mean, it's gonna be a questionable decision on how some of these guys approach this these final restarts here.
Matthew Weeks tends to be one of those guys who he would wreck his mom for a win, you know, but he's also a guy who, if he can't get it, you know, himself, if he can't win this race himself, he's not asking RC Anderson to pull over for him, and he certainly wouldn't expect RC Anderson to say, "Oh, don't pass me. Don't pass me if you can pass me." Like, Weeks is going to go for it, but
Fody just reminded Weeks of the bracket.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was trying to get to. I mean, it's not just the win here tonight, but it's also the money on the line too. Being eliminated from the bracket if he lets that 50 win. So I mean, it's going to be questionable if he how hard he pushes it here. I mean, he'd prefer any other Pro Edge driver being able to win it right now, I think, over his bracket challenger there of RC Anderson. But it's going to be questionable to see how that all turns out. Pace car is going to come down here. We're under 10 laps to go, folks, and it's still anybody's game or anybody's guess here to see how it's all going to shake out. But a lot of drivers are going to be pushing those belts a little bit tighter and looking in their mirrors a little bit less here as we get closer and closer to the end. See how it all shakes out. They're coming to the restart line. RC Anderson's going to take a very high line there. Green flag is out. Gets a mixing.
Oh, Weeks is around.
Weeks is around. Bigger caution. It looks like Gibbs is around as well. Oh, no.
Oh, Cody,
no.
Gable, Chris Wright.
No. What
bigger caution?
in the world happened there at Pro Edge?
I think Weeks spun the tires. I think. Or did Tooker get into him? Did Tooker get a better start and punt the 11?
Tooker punted him, yeah.
Or did he must have missed his shift. That 11 wasn't going.
Yeah.
And then, Scholl gets turned by Indelicato, and that gets into Gavin.
That could have been a lot bigger.
Wow.
That should have been a lot bigger.
So the 10 just tangs the left and spins the 4. This is all before the line. Is that? I guess it's not a lane change really, but
no,
the 10 car just wadded up 2 extra cars for
the 10's just, he doesn't know if Matthew Weeks is going to come back down the racetrack. I think it's just he was reacting really hard there, but that's really unfortunate for Gavin Hibbs there and for. I don't think they're going to lose all their spots. I want to see what happened to Chris Wright though.
And I think Weeks just missed a shift. And boom, there goes Gavin. Stanley shoots through. Gable had gotten spun. Gable got spun to the inside wall, checking up, and it bounced off the inside wall and came back up. Yeah.
That was so bizarre looking from that shot.
Here we go. Weeks misses the shift. Everybody stacks. For 84 sends the 0-1 into the inside wall right there.
Oh, that's a rough way to end your night there. Yep. And then Chris Wright, I mean,
I think he would have gotten a NEOL for going below the apron line.
Yeah, well, again, with a caution there, I don't think you can really blame anybody for their reactions. Yeah, I almost took out Scott Crump too. That would have been three of them.
Stanley, the last remaining. Lake Norman up in 13th.
New tires don't help you when you're making contact with the wall there.
Yep, that's true.
I stated earlier, I never really got to finish it. We're seeing a downward pointed view from these cameras. I almost want a camera to point upwards to see if we've got a full moon, because it has been a crazy night here at Phoenix.
Don't look now, but Garrison Hogan has arrived in 3rd. He did get around David Tooker there. And right behind Hogan will be Vincent Isabella in 5th. And we know Vincent will be aggressive. So Scholl actually got sideways. He ends up sticking around. He's going to restart 7th. And Delicato's damaged car restarts in 8th. Josh Personette enters the top 10 for the first time all night. We've seen him kind of dodge a few wrecks, run a clean race. Good work. Justin Vandermarl, one of those guys that I had mentioned earlier, having a clean night. Him and Wyatt Canadle, they're 10th and 11th right now.
Well, here's the ruling here. The 11 either spins or his tire, whatever it ends up being. I think he's going to get a tally there. No tally.
No
Okay,
action. No action. Which is the right call. That's a mistake.
Yeah.
That's not an intent that you can really change, right? If you.
Well, I mean, if he
swing the
misses the
shift, it is
shift,
what it is.
then if it was just a little tire spin and people are running into him, that's one thing. Yeah, nobody's gonna know other than Matthew Weeks, and he's not gonna put himself under. But no other driver was given a penalty for going below the yellow line, and that's the right call. Honestly, there's a wreck. Nobody's gonna get blamed for going below the yellow line there.
Did RC take the top?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's the first time tonight that we've seen that. Hopefully that goes.
I wouldn't have did that.
well.
I think he's trying to pull Tooker through. Is the goal there to keep Hogan back? But that seems like he got a huge restart and it does pull Tooker through. Looks like Tate holds Hogan back, and here comes Vince.
Yeah, Tate had a horrible restart there. That is going to cause everyone to split up there. Oh, there's 3 wide, 4 wide almost. Oh boy, it's getting very dangerous.
Ethan Stanley's going to enter the top 10. You follow that 92 car. That's the one with on freshest tires. Big wreck.
Casey Hatch around.
Casey Hatch around further back, 4 wide going into turn number 4.
No green.
No caution.
Yeah, no one causing the yellow there. It is getting hectic.
Tate under Tooker, Johnny and Indelicato side by side for 6th. That's holding up the field. Stanley's into the top 10, but he can't really go anywhere. There's just nowhere to go.
This is exactly what RC wants to see behind him. He wants them battling behind, but there's still chance for another yellow here. As here we come, the 2 laps to go in this race.
I don't know there's anything any of these guys can do. David Tooker going to try his best to cut that apron, get in behind.
We're going to have a caution here, I think. Oh, Hibbs hard into the side of the 80 car. No,
still green.
Save it. It's still green.
Still green. It's still green. Vincent going after Hogan for 4th.
They just have to make it back to the yellow light or yellow flag here, or white flag. Sorry.
R.C. Anderson's going to take the white flag. The battles for 3rd behind, and they are going to wreck. So there might be cars sitting on the track when we get back here. Here comes Hogan to the outside of Taylor. Hogan spins it.
And
Hogan did it.
Hogan gets it. R.C. Anderson has no one to contend, able to get it over on pit road, and R.C. Anderson's coming around turns 3 and 4 here at Phoenix is going to come around and take the checker flag for the IndyCar 1909.com 156 for Pro Edge. Amazing race for Pro Edge. They're able to get a 1, 2, 3. As they are wrecking.
Pro Edge guys.
Yeah, 3 Pro Edge. We might as well go down to their lobby down there. Oh, man.
Harrison was just sitting on the front straightaway. Oh, it was Chad. Of course.
We got a lot to go back and see. There's going to be a lot of mad drivers there.
Chad and Rucker on the bracket. Oh.
And Chad's going to lose the bracket. Vincent took out somebody. Vincent was on the bracket too. He finished 4th. That was a good result.
Chad beat Rucker.
Oh wow, Rucker had wrecked.
The caution is already out.
In another wreck there. Oh no, the caution doesn't. There's no caution.
That's true.
There's no caution. It's racing back to the line, and Rucker was wrecked on the back straightaway. And Chad beat Rucker.
Chad 28th, Rucker 31st. What a finish!
There's so much to go back and look here. We'll get to the winners here in just a second. As somehow R.C. Anderson does not have a front nose. Just go figure. Might as well not have the leader have a good car. Nobody else does. That's the finish there. Do you want to go back and look at some of the wrecks there?
Sure.
Let's do it now before anybody gets in here.
Yeah, let's go back and see some of the wrecks here. I have to see because there's so much implications here.
Yep. Huge. And Massey was involved.
Oh,
Owens, Hill, they just all plowed into each other.
Yeah, full throttle onto it.
With iRacing, the last lap, there is no like freezing the field caution, and you got to get to the line first, so you just floor it through. Robert Hill into him, Harrison into him.
Harrison does
Right, drives
Chad-
through.
Harrison does Chad a favor there. He stays in front of Rucker there to not allow him to continue going, and allows Chad to be able to pass him. That was really funny. That was really funny to watch.
I'm curious as to whether something like that right there, Chris Wright just plowing through the 6, ends up getting some sort of penalty late in this.
You can't. Yeah. It's for
It's-
position.
But it's also a severe damage or whatever. We'll see.
I mean, it's
I'll
not
let-
like he took them out. It was they're all trying to get through there. It's like if it was Daytona and there's a wreck coming to the line, you got to race through it. You know, there's a big wreck. But these are, I mean, look how many spots if he is able to make it.
Oh my goodness.
He does make it. I mean, look how many spots. The Chris Wright probably was outside the top 20.
Chris
Ends
Wright
up
was a lap
coming
down
home.
also.
Oh, he was a lap down. Okay, well, then that changes a little bit. But
He finished 32nd.
still
Justin
finishes 32nd.
Van der Marel was caught up in that. Hibbs had been caught up in one and had a really nice night. Scott Crump finishes 10th. And then Harrison just left it here, and as they're coming back around, I think he takes out the race winner.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, Clark. Oh, my gosh, Clark.
Harry and Vince just drives right into him. Didn't know.
Clark
Let's,
the Widowmaker. He went in and oh my gosh, Clark the Widowmaker. He took a couple guys out there.
All right, is Tate down there? Let's bring Tate up if we can.
Well,
All right, let me get you to someplace where you're not watching cautions here. Or Rex.
we can watch Rex all night.
Isn't that for tomorrow night?
Yeah, that's true. You can watch it tomorrow night. If you didn't get your fill of Rex, you can come back over to the Belly Up Sports YouTube page where we'll be going over all the carnage here and all the excitement from Phoenix. It delivered here tonight. But let's go ahead and bring up here Tooker, our second place driver of the night. David Tooker, able to get Pro Edge a 1-2-3, able to get home into second place. Really good drive for you tonight, and you survived all the carnage to come home with a clean car. Is that just kind of are you relieved or are you disappointed with how things have turned out here a little bit?
I'm definitely relieved. I could have definitely got a worse end of that, especially in that last restart. I think Weeks might have missed a shift up on the high side there, which really could have ended really bad for both of us. But he unfortunately got the worst end of the deal. But yeah, we got a call from RC on the restart there to get us 4 clear. And I heard the call, but we had some chatter in the Discord, so Weeks didn't hear the call on the initial start. So when I hit him, he went to go shift to third and missed a gear, and then it was just a stack up fest trying to get his car into gear, and then it unfortunately spun him out, which you hate to see that because he was running up front. I felt like he was faster than me most of the race, so if anybody should have taken the brunt of that hit, should have been me, but. Regardless, I'm happy to finish second. We got a good call from RC on the box there. Kind of gave me an indication on when to go. I think it's probably because he knew Gary and Tate were probably the faster cars there. But yeah, from the end of it, I benefited from it. It's a solid point stay, so we'll definitely take that there.
Oop, David, you're muted there, but interesting finish to it for sure. Definitely not something that I'm pretty sure Pro Edge had in plan to have one of their drivers spinning out and going back there. But overall, like I said, really good night for you. You were unable to make it to the road course last week, and a great way to be able to bounce back and get some points into your name here for the rest of the season. How's the rest of the season look for you and Pro Edge now as you guys try to build on this?
I think our plan is just take it one race at a time. Like you said, unfortunately, Ms. Coda, which would have been a really good points grab for us, but I think I got the better end of the deal with that, getting a win in the Spec MX-5 series out in the West Coast. So I feel like that was a solid trade-off. But in general, for the Pro Edge team, I like I said, I think we're just taking it one race at a time. trying to leave exactly where we left off. We had many wins last season, and we plan on keeping that up. And I think today we definitely showed that we had the pace to do that. Hopefully for the rest of the season. But looking forward to Indy as well. That'll be a long race, but more of a mental game than a physical game. So it's just gonna have to be scenario based. Like right there, we had a very good job of controlling the last few restarts, which really played into our favor. We didn't really have many challengers behind us that were racing us for the spots, but of course, when it comes down to that final restart, we're going to be racing each other like we always do. So, but at least on the 19 side, I think our plan is to just take it one race at a time and try to just gain where others lose, and hopefully we can score a few wins here. I definitely feel like my oval side has improved quite a bit over the past few seasons. I feel like this is the best I've felt all year long, and including last year. So looking forward to the rest of the season, but I'm hoping we can get a win at Indy. That would be such an awesome race to win.
Well, again, good redemption for last week. Good redemption for that one Phoenix race that you probably hope to forget, where you blinked out of the race and missed out on a championship. I had to remind you. But go ahead and I'll let you do your thank yous and shout outs to your sponsors here and your team.
Yeah, everybody at Pro Edge Racing. We don't spend a lot of time practicing together. It's very rarely do we all get in a session and say let's do this and really prep for a race. But I regardless, it's a group of guys that just love to have fun. Everybody on this team, we've known each other for multiple years, and we're always laughing about the races, and no matter how they end, we're always ending it with a laugh, no matter what. So just a great group to be a part of with those guys. Also everybody that sponsors this league, Belly Up Sports, was Johnny Thomas and his crew. Thank them for coming along. Worldwide Technology Raceway, JD Designs, especially JD Designs. He painted this beautiful car for me. I love this Heatwave car. So hopefully we can get this car in victory lane. But also Blue Egg for coming on board with us for the past few years. Everybody at Elite Racing League, all of our drivers, all of our admins, we try to put on a great league for us to showcase our skills. So everybody at the Elite Racing League, and also you guys up in the booth, what you're doing up here is pretty awesome. So really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations on being able to get a top 3 and get some good shout outs here for your team and everything. So again, congratulations. We'll take a look at you next time as hopefully you get one spot back.
Thank you, boys.
That was David Tucker there, able to get into that second position there. Are you back, David? I didn't know if
I am, but you got him. You got him. Ask the questions. You're good.
All righty. Let's go ahead and bring up Tate Lytle, the gauntlet driver for my podcast on Thursday night, able to get home in third place. But I have to feel for you, Tate. I don't think that's exactly where you were planning on finishing, as you did get some really good teammates to finish ahead of you. But
I think Tate's not there.
Is Tate not here? Tate?
Not currently.
Oh, okay. Well,
let's take RC, or we can take Vince if you want. Vince will talk to us.
I can speak for Tate if he wants me to. It was a good job out here. Well, too bad for Tate. Well, you'll get to hear him on the podcast on Thursday if you want to hear from him. But let's go ahead and bring up RC Anderson, our winner here tonight. RC Anderson over his teammates, able to lead that back half of the race there, able to get the lead and never let go of it. Stayed out on old tires, and strategy worked out in his favor as he was able to stay above it all, above all the wrecks, above all the carnage, and able to get home with a win. RC Anderson, tell us how your night unfolded for yourself.
I don't really know why I'm here. I've traditionally been pretty terrible. I've been traditionally pretty terrible at this racetrack. I don't know. I got in practice and I could only get to like 12th, 13th quickest. I couldn't put a Q lap down. I didn't know where all the speed was at, and I just was like, okay, well, we'll just focus on long run, and I just kind of stayed on the same strategy as Scott did. And because I knew he was fast here, I know he got a speeding penalty in the pits. I was like, because I was right there with him, so I don't know how he got one, but that kind of handed it to us really. That put all of us up front, all of us as team cars right up front. And once you get 4 team cars up front, it's kind of hard to upset it. especially when we're all talking to each other. So it kind of became a perfect storm in a sort. So I don't know. It's just we ended up here. I actually ended up clicking auto. I didn't click off auto fuel, so I went out with 9 gallons on new tires, and went all the way to the end with that, and it actually helped the setup a lot.
Well, probably having all those cautions was definitely in your favor then, with all the fuel strategy having to be played there. That was unintentional, but overall, really good finish for you. Normally we see you at tracks that are either tire savings or at the road courses, but you got it done on a flat track here at Phoenix. So really good to be able to get yourself knocked in with a win here. Is this something that you approve on? I mean, is this just something that you take the win here tonight, boost your confidence a little bit going forward to maybe some other racetracks that maybe you're not well known for being the top gun, and seeing how it all shakes up for the rest of the season here.
Yeah, I mean, it was super fortunate to get this. I mean, I do think I got a lot of luck on my side for this one tonight. That helped in an immense amount. But yeah, normally it's some mile and a half like Vegas or something like that, or a road course where I see myself in victory lane, not normally in a place like this. So it was cool to get one here and get into the playoffs now. And now I just need to make sure I'm here, show up and race, because I missed playoffs last year because they're just not making enough races. So
Yeah, I
Chad,
appreciate that. They got me in.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah, Chad had called me. He was like, you missed Daytona." I was like, "Yeah, I forgot about that. That's fine. I just got to make sure I make enough races here and keep plugging away. It's every time I get on the sim, it's something different. Some tracks things work well. You go to like Martinsville, and I don't know, I'm fast right away. And then some places like this where you just really got to work at it. It is way more satisfying to go to a place like what happens tonight, where I didn't feel like I was the best by any means. Struggled, I felt like, all through practice, and to show up with a win like that, that's okay with me. That's okay in my book. And yeah, I'm happy to get the win, and the fact that all my teammates finished well. Of course, Weeks missing a shift and not getting the top 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of burns a little bit. But yeah, no, I'll take it. I think I won the bracket though. I think me and Weeks we're duking out for the bracket.
Well, you got a couple other flat tracks that we're going to be going to. Hopefully, you can go on a little bit of a spree here. Another racetrack that you may be pretty familiar with next week. We're going to be going to Indianapolis for a really good long distance, full distance race. So maybe you could be able to take on to that, and then we go to Gateway. So some tracks that maybe you're pretty familiar with and have some experience on. So we'll see how that all works out for you. We want to go ahead and let you do your thank yous and shout outs here because it was a hard fought victory, and one that will definitely be remembered for one way or another, either through Rex or for your ability to come back from ninth place to be able to get the victory. But go ahead and give us your thank yous and shout outs that allows you to be here tonight.
Yeah, of course, I want to thank you guys up here in the booth first. You guys have no idea how many times I go back and watch these replays, because I mean, there's a lot of the race that when you're in the car you miss. You don't get to see everything, and you get to see a lot, and it's crazy just how good you guys are up here in the booth. And then of course Chad who runs all the leagues. I don't know how he deals with all of us, but he does it, and gives us probably a place to come race at night and have a good time with each other. And then of course Pro Edge Racing. I'm on their team for pretty much every series here, and we have an amazing time. We always push each other. As you can see in probably the last 30 laps of that race, we don't exactly play team orders either. We race each other pretty hard, and it's a lot of fun. And then for last off is Lucas Oil School of Racing. They're on every single one of my cars. If you ever want to learn how to drive a race car, that's the place to go. lucasraceschool.com. Check us out. We go all over the country, or at least all over the Midwest too, and a lot of Florida stuff. So should be fun, and I'm excited for the rest of the season. And let's get to IMS, a place where I've been before. So see if I can pull off another one. Go back to back.
Absolutely. Well, again, congratulations. IndyCar1909.com is going to know your name pretty well in real life. And now they get to talk about you winning it here in the virtual world as well. So good start of the season for you here, RC. As again, congratulations on a very impressive win here. So we want to go ahead and let you go. But again, we'll see you at Indianapolis here on iRacing and see if you can be able to go back to back here.
Yeah, we'll give it our shot. We'll give it the best shot.
That's RC Anderson, our winner here tonight, our real life driver that we know very well of, as well as we're going to take a look at the bracket here. This is the results of the bracket. We'll again go over more of this in depth in the podcast as well tomorrow night, as we'll take a look back. But these are where the drivers are eliminated. So do you have any on there, David, that you see that are a big shocker to you?
Not a big shocker, other than maybe Vincent over Stanley is a big one. Vincent's still sitting in the waiting room if we wanted to give our third interview there, but I don't think Ethan Burrell gets it over Jeff Green because Ethan wasn't here tonight, so I think Jeff Green automatically gets that one. But
he wasn't here tonight either. So.
Fortner, well, Green was here. He finished 41st. Fortner over Chris Wright's a surprise, and then
he did.
Yeah, Matthew Weeks, who's the current points leader and who's still going to be the current points leader after tonight, getting eliminated. Big surprise. So even though RC is the one he was going against, and maybe that was just a stack up of the bracket, but we'll see how that kind of plays out as we go. I think forward, and obviously we're going. I think you said Indianapolis next. So some of these guys, Chad Frankenfield, usually pretty good at Indianapolis. We'll see. I'm sure we'll see Scott Crump back up at the front as well, and a lot of those guys are still in it. So Ethan Stanley's the big one for me that gets eliminated here.
Absolutely. If you want to see who's going up against who for the next bracket, show up for the podcast here tomorrow night live on the Belly Up Sports YouTube page. And we're going to go take a look back at this race as we criticize some of the drivers. We get to be a little bit more verbal in our criticism. We get to have a stance over there. So do show up for that, as we'll be going live at 8:00 on the Belly Up Sports YouTube page for the Stay Tuned, or the Simply Racing podcast there. I had a lot of fun tonight, David and Dave. I don't know if so much the drivers may have had as much fun, but for me, this was a crazy race, but overall a really fun one to broadcast.
Yeah, it was fun. This was a flat track, and next week we're going to yet another flat track, but the one at a much higher speed, and I think that will drive a lot looser. This car seemed to drive tight, so guys don't like tight driving cars, but they tend to like the loose driving cars. So we'll see if the setup in Indianapolis next week is a little more driver friendly. But we'll take a look at the points next week. Make sure you tune in on Wednesday.
Absolutely. Indianapolis. I don't know if that's a driver friendly racetrack, but it is a racetrack.
Not usually.
No, not usually. Not for me. I get the wall too much there. But overall, thank you for everyone for showing up here tonight. Thank you, David Westergreen, for joining me here tonight. We had a ball talking about these drivers and seeing the fun. And thank you, Dave Huckleberry, for being able to showcase all these pretty cars out here get torn up for everyone at home. It was a lot of fun. And thank you to IndyCar1909.com for being able to sponsor this race. And we hope to have everyone here join us again next week for Indianapolis, same time. But for early start, you are correct. Early start. It is a full distance race. What time is the start going to be for next week? 7:30. So tune in a little bit early. We're going to have a full distance race there. A lot of points on the line for these drivers. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be a lot of work for us on our end. We hope everyone shows up to be able to see if maybe some hurt feelings travel across state over to Indianapolis and continues on from there. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. We hope to see you again. Have a wonderful night and stay happy.
Mm-hmm.